After reading these books, the old me was dead and gone. Today, I want to share with you 3 books that literally changed my life. The first one I actually lent to a friend and didn't realize I don't have, but it's right here, The 4-Hour Workweek. Now, before you click off, let me get to all 3 books and tell you how they all came together. This story is pretty crazy. I was working for a Fortune 100 medical device company, and I was a sales manager, and I'd been with them for quite a few years, but the higher you move up, the more you travel. And I was walking through the airport in Minneapolis, and I was dead tired and so sick of flying. I actually had 17 flights in the past 11 days, and I was worn out. And I get to my gate, and I'm Minneapolis, and I'm supposed to fly to Kalamazoo, and the flight is delayed for 4 hours, and I was ready to lose my mind. It was a Sunday. I just wanted to get home and relax, and here my flight was delayed. So I'm walking through the airport. I am so angry, just at life in general, so mad. And I remember stopping and shaking my head and telling myself, Scott, take a deep breath, relax. And I took a deep breath and I look around, and I just happened to look over to my left, and it was Simply Books, I think was the name of it, but a bookstore right in the airport. And I looked, and right out in front of me was that book right there, The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. And I thought to myself, yeah, 4-Hour Workweek, I wish. And just out of plain curiosity, I walked over and I picked up the book. And I started reading, and I started reading this book, and I couldn't believe the things that I was reading, how he was able to start an online business. And by the way, in that company, I started in marketing. So I have a degree in marketing. I have a pretty good understanding of marketing, but this was something at a whole new level. And I started reading the book, and long story short, I read the book, got on the plane, and finished the book. And by the time I landed, my life had changed forever. Now, I know that sounds dramatic, but it's absolutely true. That book led me to minimalism. You know, before I was on this corporate path of, I wanted to make more money, move up the corporate ladder, make more money. And time freedom wasn't really something I was even thinking of, didn't even realize it was something that was possible until I picked up that book. I started going to the public library, which I hadn't been in years, and finding every single book I could on minimalism, found Seneca, found Stoics, found all of these different things. But that book literally changed my life. And I highly recommend you get that book and read it, even though some of the principles may not work today, or I should say some of the tactics may not work as well today. The principles behind it are sound. And that literally started my journey. As I started researching minimalism and digging deeper, I found this book next. Your Money or Your Life. And this was another game changer for me because my mindset had completely shifted from wanting more, spending more to I'm only here for so much time. And one of the key takeaways in this book for me was the fact that if you take the amount of years that you have, let's say you're my age, 50 years old, and you look at, average mortality, maybe 74, and I take 24 years times 24 years, and then I multiply out how many days you have left, how many hours you have left. And when you do that, it really makes you realize, and I don't think it's in a negative way, that, wow, we're only here for a short time. And that's maybe best case scenario, right? We could go today, anytime, tomorrow, none of us know. But that book really made me realize that life is finite, not infinite, like most of us live. And, there's that saying, hey, what would you be willing to do for $10 million? And everybody said, well, I'd do anything. I'll do anything for $10 million. But what you don't think about is if I said, hey, here's $10 million, but if you take this, there's only one rule. You can't wake up tomorrow. Would you take it? And everybody says, hands down, absolutely not. So that means that today is worth at least $10 million to you, but we don't always treat it that way. And that book really opened my eyes. And it also, there's a lot of financial calculators in there. They use some different financial tools. Once again, I'm not a financial advisor, but reading through that book is important now as it ever was. And once again, it helps you understand how you can get your freedom back if you're working in a job or you're doing things and you're just spending all your money as soon as you get it. The third book is a thick one. Just kidding. Acres of Diamonds. As you can see, not a really big book, but what an impact. Acres of Diamonds is amazing. I don't want to ruin it for you, but I will tell you that read this book, and it really, in summary, talks about somebody who's looking everywhere and trying to find something, and they didn't even realize it could have been right there in their own backyard, so to speak. I won't ruin the book for you, but Acres of Diamonds made me realize that, you know what, not everything is out there that we have to search for. A lot of times it's right there in front of us. And I want to end with one thing that I heard recently that I thought was so important. And it was, most of us tend to focus only on the end goal. And we're delaying happiness until we reach that end goal. And the worst thing to do is have that goal be 1, 2, 3 years out. Let's say you want to make 6 figures or want to be rich. I mean, everybody does, right? And yet you're living in misery each day until you reach that goal. And the worst thing that can happen is you do reach that goal and you realize that it's rather empty, that you're not as happy as you would have been. So, hey, if you like this video, I'd love it if you hit that thumbs up and subscribe button. And as always, leave a comment down below and I will answer it as soon as possible. And thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Make it a great day.